Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, believed.
Get paid, little shorty, get paid. 100,000 in the safe, couple thousand in the drain. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. No, I'm always on my grind, 24 for 7 days. Favorite color, money green. Paper, I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my pack like Wolverines. But you won't find me on the mountaintop. Need no calculator, I can weigh it cause it kinda lot. Always on my top around that paper like a Michael Scott. Your boyfriend the Dwight, he want my spot, he always round a lot. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. 100,000 in the safe, couple thousand in the jeans. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. No, I'm always on my grind, 24 for 7 days. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. Get paid, yeah, yeah, get the money, yeah. Get paid, little shorty, get paid. Get paid, yeah, yeah, get the money, yeah.
Get paid, get paid. Oh. Hello. How is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Like the intro.
That was good. That was good. Did you do the NHS thing yourself?
Yeah, I did it this morning. I wasn't going to show Shane, but I showed him earlier on.
I got a bit excited. I was on about an hour and a half ago.
I first Motorhome. I Phil Humphreys, Dirty Trucker, the Camper Nerd evening.
Oh, that's Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
The Caravan Place. You know the Caravan Place is Shane, don't you?
No.
Well, you've got him on Wednesday, I think.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Only joking, Mark.
Yeah, we've got Monday or Wednesday. We're going to do it with Mark, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll decide by the end.
Yeah, we're going to cross over the other line and go into talking about caravans.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to talk to us about caravans. One or the other. What we're doing tonight, then, Shane? We've got an extra person. I've noticed. Have you seen him up there? Big beard. Big
I know.
Big beard.
He's tried to outdo me. Although I've got to admit, with this lockdown, I expected it to be somewhere down.
My hair's getting a heck of a lot longer.
Yeah. I expected something off ZZ Tops by the time we came to this.
Anyone want to pop Stephen Hayward's question? Hello, guys. What is your thoughts on cleaning a coach-built motorhome roof? Are they okay to walk in? Whoa. Hang on. We've not introduced Adam.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for that. Because it was your show, I thought I'd wait for you guys to do it. Didn't want to say anything.
Shane?
Okay, so our special guest of this evening is Aaron from, very special, from camperbuyer.com. He's a very big buyer within the trade and probably very famous in the trade, we'd probably say, especially for that beard. That lovely beard. Yeah.
Wealth of information. Let's jump on the questions. We'll want to try and get the show as interactive as possible, then we can start asking.
Okay, Stevens, what's your thoughts of cleaning a motorhome roof?
To walk on
the roof.
Go for gut feeling.
I mean, personally, if you want to do that, then I would put a ladder straight across, so you're spreading the weight. But it does depend on if it's an older motorhome. If you've got something in the 90s, I'd advise against it. I really would advise against it. And also, you've got a health and safety issue. It's a long way to fall. It's a heck of a long way to fall. But if you are going to do it, put a ladder across, maybe a plank of wood on top of the ladder, so you will distribute the weight, so you're not isolated to one area. And obviously, if you're jet washing, you need to stay away from those edges and those seams and those awning rails, because jet wash is that will get into the awning rail. And it only takes a little nick, and in 6 months' time, you've got a heck of a done.
Spot on.
Yeah, that's what I think. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I think if you put a ladder against it, you can get a brush. You know, you'd be able to clean the roof. But like I say, it's a heck of a long way to fall.
And don't overstretch.
I don't overstretch.
Went up that ladder.
So what are we going to be talking about, guys, tonight?
What actually do you do, Aaron?
What do I do?
We know what you do. Tell everybody else.
Well, we are camperbuy.com. So the name suggests we buy campervans. We also buy caravans as well. We're not like other dealers with a retail outlet. So we have smaller margins and we have bigger volume. So we buy quite a few. We probably 70 to 80 a month motorhomes and caravans. But like I say, we don't have a retail outlet, so it's purely on volume. And yeah, we've been doing it for a number of years, and yeah, it's been good. And we're coming up to interesting times. That's going to challenge all of us. But
how did you get into it, Aaron?
Years and years ago, I used to do classic cars, which I've actually done full circle now. I've gone back to classic cars as well. And then I did a couple of the old T25s back in the day, and that got me into campervans. And you guys will remember my main stock was the old Talbots without the power steering, and all these auto quests and Merlins.
Aaron, life was simple then. If it didn't work, you just hit it.
It's old school. One of my favourite, to this day, one of my favourite motorhomes is an old Mercedes Auto Trail. You know, you've got that diesel engine that will get you to anywhere, old school mechanics. And to this day, that's one of my most favourite motorhomes. I always remember I sold a motorhome to a couple of fellas, and they took this 1992, 91 Auto Trail Mercedes, and they took it all the way to Everest. And they drove it all the way. All they did is change the oil, and it never missed a beat.
Aaron, can I just deal with this comment here? Hi, guys. Yeah. Willie, get off YouTube and go to bed.
Oh, is that your
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, but it's just like you say. Back in the day, things were much simpler then, and we still do the old ones. We still sell the old ones. We buy all types, and the one I don't miss is the old Citroen C15 with the drum brakes. Don't miss those. Don't miss those.
You're so far before my time.
Make it stop.
Stop pretending shame.
But yeah, that's what we do. So we're primarily a buyer, not so much not a dealership as people understand it. So we're buyers. We're buyers. We sell to the trade, and like I say, small margins, high volume.
Yeah.
And more importantly, Aaron, what's your drink tonight?
My drink is a Sancerre. It's a rosé Sancerre. I thoroughly recommend it.
Jason?
Okay. I've gone for a Chardonnay. Only because it's 12%.
What's this, Mark? How about balconies on a motorhome roof which fold up and click into place on plastic gates? Balconies? Balconies? I don't understand.
We've just got like an extendable ladder type where it's like that, and it'll just go.
Well, we've got lots and lots of questions coming in. William's just asked, "Oh, guys, are motorhomes going up or down after this pandemic?"
Right. Okay. So
we'll get to that.
So William asked this question about what motorhome would be good for 2 big dogs, Aaron.
It was on the show that we did.
Yeah, that was one of his questions. Now I've done my research of what I would go for.
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure what kind of budget.
25,000, around that sort of mark.
So if he would have said less, there's a model of Adria that's it's got a garage. It's got an end bed, and there's a garage underneath the bed, quite a spacious garage, and you can access this with a door inside.
Yeah.
So that will be perfect. You can make up the bed under the garage. That's where the dogs can stay. But obviously, you can't drive. You know, why you've got the dogs, but for the, I know it's a model of Adria, but I'm not sure the exact model.
Right, Shane's been doing some homework, haven't you, Shane? Do you want the first one?
Yeah, go with the first one. Now, this is with a dealer called Colford Leisure, and I think this is absolutely brilliant value for money, actually. It's a Cheyenne 696, just plenty of space, and I think that one is up for 25 grand, give or take a few pounds, but you've got the double bed at the back, and then you've got all the floor space just below.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The door on the back, so the dogs can get into the garage from the back.
Yep.
Okay, next one.
This is a Bessacar E560. Now, you might see a trend with these. They're either the French bed, but 2 travelling seats. So you've still got the floor space. You know, you've got one bit of floor space where the bench seats are, and one in the kitchen area. Again, for 2 big dogs, you should be all right. And then and the same with this 155, because the toilet's in the corner, you're not battling over the dogs to get to the bed at night, if you know, assuming you want them in the van, which I'm sure most people will. Plenty of space there, look. And again, something a little bit bigger. Luna Roadstar 786, you're going to be coming in. What do you reckon, Aaron? Early to mid 20s on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
As a retail, again, you've got that space at the back and plenty of options. And there's just one more which I never put on the list. And Jason from Forefront said something like an early Swift Escape 696, because you've got the end bunks on that. You can lift up the bottom bunk, and the dogs can always curl up where the bottom bunk would be, which opens up to the garage.
The only thing I would say with regards to dogs on a buy side is that lift up the carpets, lose the carpets, fold them up, put them in the loft. Just put temporary carpets down, because if your dog's got a very, very strong smell, it's very difficult to get that smell out. You can spend a whole week cleaning it, properly cleaning it, and Monday morning you open that door and you can still smell that dog. So it's, you know, if you have got dogs, just, you know, clean on a regular basis and just fold up the carpets, just put temporary carpets down, because a strong smell of dogs is really difficult to get rid of. I mean, on a buying side, for me, I'd rather a motorhome had a really strong dog smell, because I could do something with damp. I could repair damp. But a strong smell, you're unzipping cushion, you're taking those to the dry cleaners, you're taking the curtains out, it's just there. It's very, very difficult, and it's difficult to mask as well, because, you know, you could put these perfume bombs, but then it's the opposite. It smells like a boudoir. You know, so it's just, if you've got a dog, just get on top of the cleaning, lose the carpets, because most of these carpets are loose fitted, fold them up, just buy some temporary carpets, plonk those down, because it makes a difference. Not everybody owns a dog, not everybody likes a dog, and it's exactly the same as smoke as well. It's exactly the same thing. It's, you know, if you smoke in your van and it's strong, then it's going to really, really, really devalue it. Really
Interestingly, not very often you come across a smoker's van anymore.
No, it's funny enough you don't. It's back in the day, I remember someone came into the premises of a failure approach, and it absolutely stunk, to the point where it was yellow. And and he said, well, okay. And he actually thought it was me haggling. And I said, you know, what price do you offer? I said, I don't want it. This is 18 months old. I don't think you realise I'm not going to be able to sell it. You know, I don't want to insult you by offering you half, but it's such a strong smell. It's the staining. It's just, if you're going to smoke,
especially around the cab. Especially around the cab,
Yeah.
you can really see the yellow
Yeah, you
roof.
can. And the skylights, in particular, the plastic on the
Yeah.
skylights, they discolor. They did discolor.
Yep.
Quick
Right,
question.
looks like more demand into the UK after Corona, but less jobs to buy. Should we address this?
The
It's
fridge.
not an elephant in the room because we're going to address it, but this Corona.
Let's go straight for that.
Go on then. I'm getting a load of comments. I can't keep up. Just a quick one before we start. Joanne, you know your
What do you want? Do you want my good aspects of it or my bad aspects first? What should we do?
Just fire into it. Just fire into it.
I think there's tough times ahead. We've had a question. You will see reports where, there's an NCC done a recent survey, and the thing that most people are looking forward to are holidays. After in this lockdown, and the thing that most people are looking forward to are holidays. Now they can't go abroad. So UK holidays. So it's great. This is going to be a boom for UK holidays with motorhomes and caravans. Unfortunately, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that. I really don't. Number one, the campsites need to be open, and while the campsites are shut, there's no business there. And also, the country's going to go into a recession. Worse still, maybe even a depression. So people are going to be losing their jobs. And a motorhome is the second biggest purchase of a house. The average price of a motorhome is probably £20,000. People just won't have that kind of money. They just won't, and the confidence will not be there. Now, it will be a good idea for the finance houses to make their deals more attractive. But then, they could be hesitant to do that. The likes of Black Horse and all the banks, because of what happened in 2008 when I was giving out loans willy-nilly, and that caused the crash. So, that's difficult. And also, eventually, this massive bailout that the government's done to keep the country going, we're going to have to pay that back at some point. Not initially, but at some point, VAT is going to have to go up. Taxes will go up. So that's going to affect businesses in the leisure industry. It's going to affect people buying motorhomes because they won't have a surplus amount of cash. So there's things like that. And also, the vast majority of the motorhomes or caravans I buy, they've tried out motorhoming, they've tried out caravanning, and they're going to go back to going abroad. But that option's not going to be there anymore. So there's not going to be that many motorhomes or caravans coming into the market. So it's difficult times ahead. I like to think once all of this is over, there's going to be this collective sense of relief that this biblical nightmare is finished.
It's how quick they get I think it's how quick they get the holiday parks open as well.
Yeah, but I'm hoping there's going to be a feel-good factor that's going to, what, life's too short. Let's buy that motorhome. Let's buy that caravan. But it doesn't negate the fact there's going to be a recession, and it doesn't negate the fact that the money's just not going to be out there. It's just not.
So I'm going to put a different.
Sorry.
I'm going to put a slightly different spin on it. I think because you can't go abroad for the next year or so, it will give a bit of a boom. Just talking to people in the car trade, some of them are even considering putting the prices up because there just won't be the volume of cars available like there has done. And there's a lot of people that have sat there with the 80% that the government's given, and they're actually not spending it, and they're ready to go with it.
No,
now, hopefully this will be that. There's no wrong or right answer here at all, is there?
But a lot of people buy motorhomes to actually go to Europe. There's It's like a weighing game. We just don't know. I've been doing this for a while, and I can sense when the market changes, but it's just the unknown. We don't know until we come out of lockdown and we fire it up. It's like an engine. This business, it really is. It's you just start her up and you just see, and we just have to tiptoe through it, and I think it's going to hit the more expensive motorhomes more. The cheaper end of the market, it will be fine, but it's that, you know, it's that 30, 40 plus market that I think it's going to be hard to hit.
On the opposite side of that, they might just about balance out because there isn't any new ones being built. There isn't any new ones being made.
But I'm going with the field factor. Because this is really, I think the shocks, people got over the shock, but
yeah,
I do feel people just, once this is done, if they find a vaccine, it's just gonna, oh my days, do you remember then? It's just gonna be such relief. And you know, let's do this. Let's do the things we said we was going to get at the motorhome. You know, we said we was going to tour there, go around Scotland. Let's just do it, because life's too short. If anything, this has highlighted that life is too short. Yeah. You can't come to a visit last year. Do you think it'd be a problem if everyone holidays? But that's one problem the UK campsites won't mind. They really, really won't mind. It's got a question there. We're getting really busy last year. I think there may be a problem. There will be a problem. There will be. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know with the caravan club, you have to book months in advance with some sites. They've got this. So it'd be great for the independents.
Yeah, I think on the caravan sites, I think what will happen is probably if they've got 100 pitches, it'll probably be 50 pitches. And
no, I think they'll be full. I do think they'll be full.
No, I mean for social distancing.
Yeah, I mean campsites are a perfect place for social distancing. They are, by fire regulations, they have to be 6 meters apart. Is it? Yeah. They have to be 6 meters apart. When you use a cubicle, you can just have one in. You can do social distancing using the toilet. It's the perfect business. They should be the first to open up. They really should be the first to open
It'd be good for people as well, though.
You got Anthony here.
Feel good.
I know Anthony, the camper nerd, and he's saying he's finding £10,000 once easy to sell, which is actually, this is what it's going to be like. The cheaper end of the market is going to be quite buoyant, but as you get more expensive, it's the confidence. You need confidence when you're spending that kind of money. You need confidence that one, your job's secure. That two, your savings are secure, and and three, that you're not going to be clobbered with a massive tax. It's a confidence thing. And that doesn't really apply beyond the £10,000-15,000 markup. But it's interesting times ahead. I think as a country, I think we will get through this, and we will squeeze any kind of positive out of it, because it's huge. And if we get over this, then great. Then, well, live life to the full.
Yeah,
so
I think one of the things that, without getting political, one of the things the government has done very well is give that 80% wage. I know it's going to cost us long term, but I speak to my friends and family in America, who most of them have been let go. Other ones are just getting paid what the company wants to, but there's no other support from the government. So, like for example, my uncle, he's down to 60% of his salary. That's just paid for the company, and everybody else has been let go. So that 80% is hopefully going to get everybody kickstarted. And the nice thing is, we should be coming out of this in the summer, because if we was going straight into January or February or something like that, it would be a bit more daunting. But at least the sun's going to be out, and hopefully it'll bring out those.
And also, people are used to self-distancing. It's second nature now. When you queue up, you stand away from people. It's just, you're going to get a few idiots, but most people, 99% of people, are used to self-distancing. So that's the way forward until we find a vaccine. But
that's true, because when you go to the supermarket now, it just feels normal.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and that's.
I'll tell you what feels strange is when someone stands too close to you. It's now the opposite. It's not where they're further away, thinking, oh, okay. But now when they're close, you're thinking, whoa, come on. I was telling you, Shane, the other day when the guy came into the premises, and And he kept walking towards me, and I kept backing up, and he kept walking towards me, and I kept backing up. So,
there's a certain dealer that goes to the auctions, and he's well known throughout the trade, and he stands very close. And it will be very interesting when we do all next see him how people will take that, really.
Well, Shane, do you just want to answer this question?
What's this question? How do you get rid of waste if you don't go to these parks and you're moving around all the time? Oh, that's oof. Well, you don't put it on the. You don't go into a lay-by. You don't undo it while you drive along, because if a motorbike's behind you, you know they will slip over. How to get rid of waste? It's difficult, because if it's, you know, your waste could be washing up liquid. It could be stuff that's slippery, and you need to you need to find somewhere safe to put that. I'm sure. How would you get rid of waste if you don't have it in confidence? You
need to find the right drain.
Yeah, but then the drain could go straight into the river, couldn't it? So the best thing to do, if you whatever area you are, let's say you're in Oxford and you are wild camping, or you're living in your van and you find yourself in a new area, there's so many great Facebook groups, motorhome Facebook groups, that with local knowledge. So if you find yourself in Oxford and you've got a tank full of waste, just join these groups. There's ones with 60,000 plus members, and instantly there'll be people saying, look, if you take it there, that's a safe place. You can take it there, it's a safe place. And the thing I love about the motorhome community is a community. So there are people saying, come to my house, you can use my drone. Because it is a community. That's the one of the things I do love about this business. It's 99% of the people are really nice, and they really, really are. And so if you're struggling to find somewhere, you know, just post on a forum, and someone's got local knowledge. Go here, go there. I know it's difficult because the campsites are shut, because you can just pop into the campsite, and you know, possibly if they're nice, they'll let you use their waste system. But that's what I would.
The other thing that a lot of people do, if they are wild camping, they'll do, say, 4 nights of wild camping, and on the 5th night they'll stop at a campsite, obviously when they're open again, and empty up, refresh, and then go to wherever they was. That's what a majority of people do.
I remember when we were back in the day, retail outlets. These three young girls, they bought this motorhome, and it's going to tour Europe, and I just thought, what an adventure, you know, 18 years old, you know, you bought yourself a motorhome, you just want to drive toward whole of Europe. I mean, if I could live my life, that would be something. That would be something.
Quick quiz. Quick quiz.
We've got questions to go through. Now, hold on, it's illegal, it's simple. When confidence is low, people stop, pardon, save. That is true, but you've got a little thing there. That's it's called capital. You need to buy these motorhomes, especially on a volume. You need capital, and you can't. You know, that capital needs to be flowing all the time. So if you've tied it all up in capital, one, you've got to run out of space, and two, you're not going to be able to buy anything else, and your business stops. It's as simple as that. So in an ideal world, you'd have a money tree that you just shake, but this is not an ideal world.
Right, shall we do a quick, Aaron, let's do a quick quiz. Let's put everyone to the test. Does anybody know the make and model of this motorhome?
It looks like a Swift.
Well, hold on, I can't see all of it.
Let everybody else have a go.
Yeah.
Another clue?
Hey.
Jessica.
Ooh.
Are you going to tell me if I'm right?
AJ was wrong. It's not a Sundance.
That was going to be my next guess, to be fair.
I think it may be a Swift.
It is a Swift. It is a Swift Escape 622 U-shaped lounge.
Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you buy a Swift Escape, look up, because that's where the damp comes in.
Next one.
That's an auto
An
trail.
auto trail. Yeah.
What model?
Apache or Cheyenne.
XL.
XL.
And last one.
Bailey.
It's an Aldi.
Oh, we've got Bailey and Aldis, have we?
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
That's
Bailey
a Bailey.
Compact.
Bailey.
Bailey Advanced Compact. 640.
Yeah, it's a Bailey Compact, yeah.
540 Shane.
Oh, 540, sorry, yeah.
I didn't do too well there. Well, what's these questions? Well, let's go for these questions. Come on. I did Europe with a mate with 7. Anthony, did Europe with a mate 7-1 30 years ago? Did it all again with a shower? God, great. It's got a Sundance. Any chance you can ask a few more questions? Yeah, come on, look, guys. Someone close to me in the car just turned up. He's like, okay, don't worry, you put yourself through this. Yeah, you got to get that, Prim. If the parks don't open quickly, what about doing a swap for driveways to park on? Like, yeah, it's the whole idea of campsite, Denise, is you're in the campsite. It's you know, I've had weekends where, you know, I've gone into nice hotels. I've also stayed at campsites where it's beautiful. You know, it's absolutely, you just got a field, but you've got a barbecue going, you've got the children playing with the next door neighbour's children, and there's no hotel. You've got a balmy summer's night. You've pulled out your comfortable chair, you've grabbed yourself a drink. There's no hotel in the world that can beat that. There really isn't. And, you know, I've seen some of the places where I haven't been to many of the campsites, but some of the campsites, you're only looking at the beach, especially when you're wild camping. You're waking up and there's waves. So you're not going to get down somebody's drive, unfortunately. So it's a great idea, but it would work for some people. But the whole idea of a campsite is that, well, you're in a campsite and you've got that community feel. And
yeah.
I'm finding 10 codes. Have we missed any questions, guys? Kind of wind turbine to power.
The UK campsites were getting really busy last year. Do you think that could be the problem if everybody stays in the UK? Definitely.
Yeah, it's got to be massive. But like I said before, it's going to be great for the independents.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what you said about the Caravan Club earlier. I mean, they were the first ones, I think, to cancel all bookings until the 1st of July, or you couldn't start booking again from them. Somebody else said earlier that they'd already put the prices up. Not the Caravan Club necessarily, but other campsites have for later on in the year.
The thing is, with this coronavirus, there's winners and losers. There's companies that have come out really well, and there's companies that have come out really badly. And people won't forget. People won't forget. So
it's all how you've run your business, Aaron.
It is.
What's the worst motorhome? What's the worst motorhome released to the UK market?
Max Zone.
Yeah, we're going years ago, big old tag axle. But what's the worst?
The first thing I think of is damp, and I think of things like the Max Zones, some of the early CIs or roller teams.
Yeah,
but I'm talking like, not, you know.
I won't tell you what makes, but there's certain makes and model of motorhomes that if we don't find damp, it should be in a museum. And
no, you're wrong there. If you don't find damp, you're not looking hard enough.
You know, when my boss phoned up and I said, "We ever found it damp?" I said, "Oh, you need to go back. It's not unheard of." But okay, for early build quality, worst motorhome released, the CI's pretty poor build quality. If you're talking caravans, Avondale's pretty poor for.
Oh yeah.
early Baileys, actually not early Baileys, the early Baileys, your 98, 99, 2000, not so bad. But your senators and your champagnes and your pageants, yeah, they had issues with them. Build quality was pretty poor.
Shane, I've met a lot of cars.
I mean, listen, guys. There's good and bad in every single motorhome.
Yeah.
There really is. I don't, if you own a CI, then it's the chances are I'll be fine because most of these issues have been addressed. If you found damp in a CI, 9 times out of 10 we're going to look at CI. There's evidence of previous repairs, which is that's fine if it's been done properly. You've cured the problem. I mean, the build quality of British vans are not as good as, German. They're just not.
Anything with alley sides?
With the what?
Alley sides.
Yeah,
Chris
so
Bowden.
aluminium sides. I mean, the aluminium sides are generally good. It's the wooden floor that they've been built on.
I mean, Anthony will back me up here, the camper nerd, because he specialises in auto sleepers with the all-in-one unit. Great vans.
The monocoques, yeah.
Yeah, so especially the older ones. And I don't understand why that's not. Everybody's doing that even to this now. You buy a auto sleeper Tasman on a year 2000, it's unlikely to have damp. It is unlikely to have damp because there's no steams. It just seems logical to me. There
is a new make that's just come out that I've seen popping up a couple of places. It's something like Wingwam or Wingham.
Okay.
And they're I mean the price.
I think it's Wingham.
I can't. Yeah, something like that. But they're monocoque coach built, so they're not like the auto sleepers. They're proper monocoques. It
just surprises me of all these years of manufacturing motorhomes and caravans that we are still getting damp issues on 1-year-old motorhomes that cost north of £40,000. It just amazes me. It does seem to be British fans. It's I mean, Shane, you guys would know if you're going to look at a 2002 Heimer, the chances are the meter's not even going to register. You're going to be taking it in your hand to make sure it's working. But, you would do that. It's honest. You would do, and it's just that's my biggest gripe is the build quality of British fans.
Okay, William, vans are going to have to be far more good grid so we can boondock. He's actually meant off grid.
Okay, so they're going to have to be far more off grid. Yeah, fair point. More solar panels, inverters, and everything like that.
Actually, the one extra with these motorhomes that I think is a really good one is a solar panel. I think they're great. I think they're absolutely great. I mean, you've got really powerful solar panels. You get twin batteries set up. You don't need generators. You can watch telly off of these. It's great. I just think they're well worth the investment. They really, really are.
Shane, I think Mark's coming to your point. What about monocoque camper vans like Wingham?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. At least somebody knows the name. But yes,
five big motorhomes. Well, they're coming. They are coming. I mean, if they're going to make electric lorries, the next thing they're going to make is a electric motorhome.
Good question here, AJ. Is it better to buy a second-hand van? I'll go yes.
I'd say yes, because hopefully, as long as the first owner has been sensible enough to service it, then it should have had any problems sorted. You'd hope after the first service, and you don't have the depreciation as well quite so hard.
Yeah, but the pluses of a new van is especially the fact things like toilets and stuff like that and beds. You just know nobody's been in that toilet, nobody's been in that bed. So it's that, and also you can get quite a good finance package for a new motorhome. And certain motorhomes devalue less, so it's always worth doing your research. So if you are going to buy a new, buy something that's low depreciation. That you may have to pay more, but you got to save money in the long run, because you just are. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's certain makes of caravans that, like 2-berth caravans, they depreciate a heck of a lot more than a fixed berth. There's certain makes of caravans like an Ariba that really, really hold their money. But if you're buying a middle dinette caravan, new, you're going to lose money because it's not very desirable. If people want a 2-berth, they buy a 2-berth. If they want a 4-berth, they'll buy one with a fixed bed. They would have bought one with a middle dinette. It's things like that you need to take into account.
Aaron, Volkswagen adventurers, what do you think of Volkswagen Campervans? Be nice. Be very nice.
I'll stay down.
You may not like. Okay, my take on VWs is the market's pretty swamped with companies that do conversions. It's whenever somebody phones up and they've got a VW, I say who's converted by. It'll be some name I've not heard of, and they're based in Hull or they're based in Wales. And there's a difference in conversion. There's a big difference because you can buy these kits and you can convert it yourself. But how you would know if it's a decent conversion is, one, if it's got a fresh water tank as opposed to a portable one that you take. If it's got like a proper three-way fridge, if it's got central heating, it's things like that. If it's got, like I say, fresh waste water tanks, there's lots of different conversions, and a lot of them are quite basic, and the market's pretty flooded. So for me to quote, it would have to be a proper conversion. Whenever someone offers me a VW, it's the only ones that I actually ask: has it got a three-way fridge? Has it got a leisure battery? Has it got fresh water tanks? Has it got heating? These are all the things that differentiates between a poor conversion and a decent conversion.
I think there's two more points which you touched on the other day. First of all, is VWs do tend to be almost a separate market altogether to motorhomes. Is that fair to say?
It is.
And two, something that Jason really heads up on is accessibility to things like the leisure battery. Like we bought smaller made VWs in the past, and the leisure battery will be under the passenger seat, which you have to take out. Well, to be able to just change a battery, you don't want it to take 4 hours.
And also, just quickly, Stephen, that's a great motorhome. That's got to hold its value for forevermore. That really is. Auto sleep, especially that kind of age.
They're such a well-built van.
They are. You're right. If you look at an old symbol like a year 2000, there is no camper van. There's no manufacturer that utilizes space as well as Auto Sleeper. Literally every single nook and cranny's either got a drawer or a cupboard. And if you've ever tried to build a motorhome, it's not easy. It's not easy. But so what we were saying, going back to the VWs, so if it's a decent conversion, and also with VWs, which you don't get with any other model, it makes a difference what engine it's got, what horsepower, because you can have one with, I think it's 80, 90 horsepower, and it goes all the way up to 120. So things like that make a difference. But it's all about the conversion. If it's a proper one with a pop-up roof, I mean, they're great. They're great vans, and they will do lots and lots of miles. I mean, they're capable of doing 200, 300,000 miles like that. They are exceptionally well made. It just, from my point of view, the market is just swamped with companies that convert these. And also, I imagine a lot of these companies have got issues with the DVLA now, because the DVLA not that long ago brought a new rule whereby, prior to this new rule, you can buy a transporter van or buy a van, convert it into a camper van, send a few pictures, and bosh, you've got VW, you've got a camper van registered on your logbook. So that means you can get cheaper insurance, But now they've changed the rules now. They've changed the rules. Now it's something like a bus with windows or something. So
Chris Bowden, I MOT tested Manny 3-year-old motorhome with bag damp, but not part of MOT. Silly, really.
No, it's not silly. It's a totally separate thing. It's not going to affect drivability. It's not going to forget the mechanical thing. You know, if you have an accident, the fact you've got damp doesn't make a jot of difference. It doesn't make a jot of difference to the brakes, to the emissions, to it makes no difference. It's
well, if you have damp and you're in an accident, it should put out the fire a bit quicker.
Electrical hybrid motorhomes.
Well, they're coming. They are coming, but I think the technology needs to be improved slightly, because it's all well and good saying you've got a distance of 200 miles, but if you're stuck on a motorway because there's an accident and you are trickling along, I could have got this image of all these vehicles just breaking down because they've run out of electricity. So
on the other side, I mean, if you're driving to a site, you're plugged in straight away. So
yeah.
If the sites can up their electricity output, then it's almost ready-made.
It's coming. There's no question. It's coming. It's coming. I think it's a few years down the line. Is it possible it's going to be the? It's possible going to be
the best. It's possibly going to be the best way to get.
It's going to be best to drive. To drive. I mean, a lot of people, a heck of a lot of people, that the only reason they purchase a motorhome is to go abroad. In Europe, they cater for motorhomes better than us in the UK.
Yes.
You've got every single town or village will have a car park just a mile or so out that caters for motorhomes. Proper motorhome spaces, and it's cheap, and it's so they've embraced the motorhome. It's but in the UK, you just don't have that. You just don't have that. So when I think the earnings opportunity people will get to go to Europe, they'll be over there, because that's what they've got a motorhome for. That's what they bought it for.
And again, it's a safe way to do it.
Yeah, Mark. If looking to buy your first motorhome under 20k, would you recommend buying from a dealer or private?
I don't think it makes a difference as long as you do those checks right, especially damp checks.
Shane, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is 2 years. 2 years newer. If you buy from a dealer, from privately, you're going to get something probably about 2 years newer than if you do from a dealer. So if you've got the same shape, so that 20,000 will put you onto the new shape from 2007 onwards. So that will be the difference of buying privately, probably in 07 and 08. No, yeah, to 20,000 would that buy? Yeah, so from dealer wise, you probably look at 07 and 08. Privately, maybe a year or so newer. But if you're buying privately, it's advisable to take someone who's at least owned a motorhome before, because people are under this illusion that you can smell damp. We buy.
I've never smelled damp once.
Absolutely riddled with damp, and you don't smell it. You don't. They could have put an air freshener in there, and damp's expensive. Damp's expensive to repair, but only labor. It's very, very labor intensive. So if you do have a van that's got damp, it's not the end of the world, because the materials are minimal. So if you can just get a carpenter or someone like that, you don't have to go to a specialist damp repair. We do damp repairs ourselves. We know what's involved. You don't have to go to a specialist damp repair. A carpenter would be more than capable. I'll give you an example. A sheet of Bailey wallboard is 45 pounds. It's 6x4. It's the man hours to do it. But if you do a damp repair yourself,
the thing is, Aaron, with damp, it might just be one part, but you've got to keep going.
Yeah, no, you have. And also, it's not always where you think it is. If you found damp there, it could be coming in from there. Yeah. So you've kind of got to go overboard. So if you find an area of damp in that area there, don't just go ice. You need to go all round, because water finds its way. And so
what do you lot think of the Aldis Encore 255?
No, I do like them. It's very modern. It's got no, I do. They hold their value quite well. The Encore range is like top of the range. Is that top of the range for the Aldis?
Yeah. The 200s are all top of the range. So I think that that'll be French bed, won't it? The 255.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just got every little bit. I think it's got the Aldi wet heating. It'll have the cab blinds, and so on. It'll be the more complete motorhome than the standard Eldis AutoQuest.
What's so bad about damp? Obviously, it's not good for you, but how does it damage the motorhome?
Do you want me to answer that?
Go for it.
Right. If it's minor damp, you're working on percentages. You've got a damp meter which reads the different percentages of damp content in that wallboard or that ceiling board or that floor. Now, if it's 20-25%, that puts you on notice that something's going on and you can reseal it. Even up to 30, 35, 40, if it's not visible, you can reseal it and it will gradually come down. It takes a while to come down. If it goes above that, then it starts to affect the wallboard. It starts to go pitting, and all the drying out in the world, it's just going to turn into dry rot. And so and if it's quite bad damp, then you've got to be aware that if you've got children, that releases damp pores into the atmosphere. Children breathe that in. It's not great, and also it spreads. It's like the coronavirus. You know, if you don't find a cure for it, it's just going to spread and spread and spread.
And the best way to describe the walls, obviously you've got the aluminium on the outside, but most of the walls on most motorhomes are made of wood. And everybody knows what wood looks like when it's been in a forest for a couple of months, how soft and mushy it goes. And that's exactly what can happen with the motorhome.
Wet cardboard.
Yeah, that's what it's like. That's what it was.
Campervans are better if they are your main vehicle for 4 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing with campervans is on campsites. So because some campsites are really funny, they don't like any kind of noise after 10 o'clock. When you've got when you've got a motorhome, you just open the door, you treat you don't make any noise. You got a campervan like you got that bang. Just winds people up.
Okie dokie then. Question. How did Aldi's get its name?
You asking me?
No, I'm asking anybody. How did Aldi's get its name?
I think leave this one for about 30 seconds. Just move on to the next comment, and let's see if anybody comes up and types up on the comments.
Oh.
I know this because my dad told me a long, long time ago.
Do you know, Aaron?
Wasn't that a Fordish firm or something back in the day?
It still is. Still is.
Because I see him.
Yeah.
I don't. Shane, you're the one with encyclopedia for motorhomes. I just know what they're worth.
Does anybody know how Aldi's got its name?
Just Google it now.
Camper Nerd.
I think it was a Fordish firm. I'm sure it was a Fordish firm, and he.
Camper Nerd and the Caravan Place have got it right. It's actually Thomas. Mark.
Me. Siddle. So Siddle's the name of the person, was it?
Right. Here we go.
Yep.
Aldi's transport stretched back to the 19th century when Thomas Cook purchased his first horse and cart. In 1881, after the death of Thomas Cook, his son, Siddle, took over the majority of the business, and in 1963 started to build the Compass Explorer Buccaneer. 2017, Erwin Heimer brought them.
Jason, you're losing the room.
Cheers.
And who bought Erwin Heimer?
Go on.
The American RV make Thor Industries.
Yes.
It was a deal worth something like 2-3 billion.
What make of leisure battery would you rate best?
There is a make that's really, I'm not really that side of things, but there is a make.
That's one for Jason, I think.
Yeah, we tend to use Numax. Try and put as big as you want.
Oh, there is a make. There is a make, isn't there? That's really, really good. Hold on.
I'll just use one with electric in it.
Have a new Laker with a spare electric drop-down bed, parked on the drive over the winter, drop the bed and mould on the roof fabric. How do I remove this? When you're storing over winter with the electric bed, you must leave a gap to let air circulate through. So don't keep them up, drop it down a good 12 or 15 inches so the air can circulate around. That was the problem you had to store.
I mean, once you've got mold, mold is quite difficult to get rid of. So the fact you've got this material, I know it's like a loose material. It may be worth, finding how that connects and take it off and under a low heat, just using a washing machine. We have upholstery sometimes. It's filthy dirty, and all the sprays and the best sprays in the world does it. But if you can undip it and just put it in the washing machine under a low heat, so if you can, mold is difficult. Mold is difficult.
Tell you what's quite good: elbow grease. It's called elbow grease in a spray.
Yeah, that is good. That is, and also the Halfords, not Halfords. You can get it Halfords. They do a motorhome cleaner, and that's really quite good. And also the rug doctor, the rug spot remover, we use that as well. That's quite good stuff as well. But the chances are that's not going to get that off. So that fabric, it's been connected to that motor, to that roof somehow, and it won't be glued on, I would have thought. So if you can find a way of taking it on a low heat, put it in the washing machine. Don't tumble dry it, just let it dry naturally. And like Jason says, just drop the bed. It needs to air. It's when anything is trapped, it traps moisture. This is why I'm not a big fan of caravan covers and motorhome covers, because I know they're breathable, but they trap in moisture. And that's how you get mold, and that's how. I mean, we've collected from campsites, from storage yards, and they're on concrete. But sometimes when you collect a motorhome or caravan and you're surrounded by woods, which is really picturesque, but it's mossy. If you ever see any kind of moss on the ground when you're storage, that's moisture. That's gonna get into your van. So if you are choosing storage, I know storage is not easy to find, but something that's concrete based. But if you see moss, it's moisture. It is. So
Vincent, Varta versus Banner battery. Varta.
When I was Googling, Varta is a very, very good mate.
Varta. I always use Varta for the engine batteries. Okay, Mark, out of all the different heating systems, which one do you rate best and why?
Aldi.
It is, because it's home from home. You just set your temperature, and there it is.
It's a wet radiator system. Simple as it sounds, just like at home, and you very rarely have problems with them.
Also, you get those on the RV. Any RV, no matter what age, it's got like a thermostat, exactly like you get at home. You just set your temperature there, and when it reaches that temperature, it clicks off. It's great. It's great.
A lot more even than the blown air heating as well. You've got the radiators all around the van. It's just not got one, 2 or 3 vents that are just blowing in. It's
the ProPlex ones, they're good heating systems, but they're expensive when they go wrong. They are expensive when they go wrong.
And that's just going back. The eldest Encore 255, that'll have the LD heating, and that is worth it just for that over the whale.
Yeah, excellent.
CI motorhomes. Which country did they first start? CI motorhomes.
I was looking for that in the comments then.
I'm going to say Italy. I'm guessing I'm wrong.
CI.
Caravans International.
Caravans International.
Now, if you heard the name, you'd say the UK.
Star Taylor, Italy, no. And you're going to pick yourself?
I would have thought Italy. I would have thought Italy.
No, yeah, Stephen, Italy. So the fact 2 other people have said it, that means I must be right.
No. 1963. Sam Alpha, an English designer, manufactured and was responsible for the Sprite. He was also the founder of Little Chef. He founded Caravans International, and in 1982, he went into liquidation. Colesall brought the rights, and then Trigano Group brought CI. It was a British company originally.
I never known that.
Sam Alpha. Italy. Nobody's got it. Trigano Group. Have you seen how many companies they own?
Yeah.
A lot.
They're like
Auto Sleeper, Auto Trail, Benamor,
Yeah.
Marcus, Roller Team.
They bought a lot. Surprised they didn't buy Luna.
Would you have brought Luna?
That's a no.
If you could, would you brought Luna?
Luna is no better or worse than anybody else. They're just maybe it was bad management. I don't know, but they're no better. They're no worse than anybody else. I don't. I rate them equal to an Eldest, and so. But
Mark, what about Campervan pop-up canvas roof cleaning?
Again, I would do the spot remover, but there's probably other products out there specific for that. It's exactly the same as a tent. It's exactly the same material as a tent. So once you clean it, you've got that spray that protects it, doesn't it? That seals it. So once you've cleaned it, but you got what we would use is when you're washing up, you've got the Brio pad and the sponge, and just go on that one side and then the sponge on the other side. But once you clean it, spray that stuff on and seal it.
Yeah, and another thing there, Ryan, is once you've cleaned it, obviously you've got it wet. Don't put it back into place again.
It's exactly the same as a tent.
Wait for it to
and
dry.
Also, if you do leave it and it gets really dirty, then that will start to crack. That's when you get the splits. So you need to do.
Jamie, hi. Is it legal to carry a scooter on the back of a motorhome?
It is, but it's all to do with the weight. What's your permissible weight for that motorhome? That really is, because I see a lot of people they put a scooter and they put it in the garage, because some of these garages are really, really big, and they'll put a little ramp and they'll put this scooter up. But a lot of these rear garages limited to 150 kilograms, or so you've got to do. If that's your plan, then you need to contact the manufacturer to say what is the limit for that garage, because if you've got a big bike in there and you've got a limit of 150 kilograms for that garage, you're asking for trouble there. You really, really are.
Just want to say hello to John Buxton, available today. Good evening, John.
Dirty Trucker, you think the price will drop on second-hand motorhomes after the COVID?
Without question. Depends what age. It depends what age. If you're looking something modern, £20,000 plus, yes.
I think the opposite still. I just think that they'll hold the value because there's no new coming through.
We are going to be in a depression. People are not going to have money. The confidence is going to be low. I think there'll be a bit of a lag in that, and I think that the people. There's going to be an artificial lag while Europe is shut. But the moment Europe opens and people start going abroad again, you're still in a recession, and you got to think a motorhome is a massive investment, the second biggest other than a house. Average price for a motorhome £20,000.
What's your personal favourite layout for a motorhome? I love a full width bathroom. Great show, guys. Favourite layout?
Shane's got to disagree with me here.
Go on.
I like a U-shaped lounge at the rear.
Oh no! Why?
I'll tell you why. Because when you want a fixed bed, yes.
Yeah, I love the twin beds.
You got a fixed bed. You've got a fixed bed. What you got? You got the bathrooms next door. You got one window. That's it. And in your dinette, you've got one window opposite. You got a U-shaped lounge. It's panoramic. You're on a campsite. You're sitting in this U-shaped lounge. You've got your dinner's there. You've got a window behind you. You've got a window to the side of you. You've got a window to this side. You've got a skylight. You are panoramic. You are looking. You're looking at someone trying to put a tent up. Yes, I do. And all you've got to do is the middle slat. You pull that forward. Cushions go there and there. You can have a topper on front. Voila.
See, but when you've got that U-shaped lounge with all the windows around, the dog jumps on the bed, and you've got everybody looking through the window at you from 6 meters away.
You've got blinds.
Well, what's the point in having the windows around then?
My favourite motorhome.
Go on.
My favourite motorhome is when we saw in the NEC show in February. Was
Cargo liner for two.
Yeah, that had a U-shaped lounge, Shane.
It was beautiful. I'm not sure exact model. It's got a U-shaped lounge at the rear, and it's got an electric drop-down bed at the front. So you've got the best of both worlds. That was 70,000-80,000 pounds, but if money was no object.
It was started from about 122. It was the Carthago liner.
Okay.
Carthago liner for 2Y53.
We actually did a review on it, didn't we? There, because we were just bowled over by its shape.
It's beautiful. The layout was just. If you had £20,000, what would be your ideal motorhome if you had 20,000?
Oh, give me a couple of minutes on that.
Four berth Swift.
Four-berth Swift. Layout. What kind of layout? What kind of? Mine would be a Mercedes Daytona. No, not Daytona.
Dakota.
Dakota. Mercedes Dakota.
What year though?
Nice big bed, middle dinette on a Mercedes chassis.
We are seeing pent-up demand now available today, said.
Yeah. John, he's in the motorhome industry, and he gets to talk to a lot of people. We've seen it in our traffic in the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've been taking deposits on motorhomes, and they haven't even seen them. The last one we took was 47 grand.
Well, I'm hoping I'm wrong. But I hope it will override any.
At the end of the day, Aaron, you've planned for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Staycation is the buzzword.
You don't know until we all go back to work. You just don't know. You just don't know. But the first thing, the campsites need to be open. Vincent, it's funny that if I had £20,000 budget, I would have a Euromobile Integra. It's a big van. It's a big tag axle van. And they drive big, but what a lovely van. And very rarely have damp. So, no, I do. In answer to your question, I do. And if you look up a Euromobile Integra, it's a big van, huge, 4.5, 5 tons. But that's a lovely.
And you know what, Aaron? Somebody else asked me the same question for going across Europe the other day. 20 grand budget. What can you get for that sort of money? And the first thing I pointed him to was a Euromobile Integra, because it's a relatively cheap van. You can pick up 2003s, 4s, 5s for that sort of price range.
The only thing I would say about those, they drive big. What I mean by that, they drive like an American RV. They just drive big. So you need to be relatively confident, because they're
the wide over the wheels and
with the electric blind at the front, with
AJ,
AJ,
people aren't spending on much else, are they? I totally agree with him. That's why I think it will go. Same as what Shane thinks.
Well, I hope you both prove me wrong. I hope I don't know. I just think that the top end's going to be hard. We need, absolutely. I could agree with you. Available today, campsites open first. Absolutely. Because social distancing in the campsite is easy. Absolutely easy. There's no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, you just wouldn't have the pubs and restaurants open, would you? And the swimming pools.
And do you know what? I read this article that the restaurants don't want to open either, because at the moment the government are paying their staff. But if they open, all the staff go back to work, so they've got staff costs, but they can only quarter fill the restaurant, because one, social distancing, and two, people are nervous about going out. So
I think Anthony's with you, Aaron. I'm a very optimistic person. I love the light at the end of the tunnel, but realistically, this isn't too good. This ain't too good.
This is biblical. And it's going to cost him billions. And a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and a lot of people are going to be in a very, very bad way. And that's what we sell is non-essential. It's not. It's a lot of money. Even old Talbots go for £5,000-6,000. So it's a heck of a lot of money. And if the money's not there, if the confidence is not there,
Okay. What's the most expensive motorhome? And would you be buying this one?
Didn't Eddie Murphy have a American RV when he was on site over here or something? That was just ridiculous. That would be nice. I think that's about $2 million. That would be okay. A couple of slide outs and jacuzzi and something like that would do.
How much is the most expensive motorhome?
Aaron?
Put it this way, he'll be a lot less after this.
Yeah, well, the millionaires have still got money.
Yeah, they are.
Shane, do you want to tell us?
The Element Palazzo.
I'm just going to give myself a top up. Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. See, this is one that not many people know about, but they've seen it. And it's almost as if they thought it was a concept or a design, but it's absolutely for sale. And I mean, just look at that. It looks like you're looking through a magnifying glass at the front. Well, they start for around $3 million. And that one there is the top of the range. I mean, they do a few different things. I mean, they even do the truck, the truck itself, so you can tow things and put things on the back. But incredible! It's got its own balcony on the top. It's a super yacht on the road. Is the best way to put it. Top.
How do you compare a twin wheel to a tag axle?
Twin wheel is a caravan, a tag axle is a motor.
No, tag axle motorhome, tag rear axle. So like your Euromobile tag axle.
One of them tags the wheels side by side, and the twin there.
How do I compare one? I'd probably say, I mean, with a tag axle, you've got a lot more space inside because it's probably going to be getting for 25, 30 foot as a European or English one. You just got that a lot more space. You're probably going to have a bigger garage and everything like that.
Twin axle, you'll have a massive payload, but it will be over the 3.5 tons.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you out of focus? No.
Might be the whiskey.
So, Hobby and Imer have restarted again, haven't they?
Yes. Or they're about to restart. I forget which one, but yes, they are about to restart building again. Obviously, Germany's a bit ahead of us. But that's good news because obviously Erwinheimer, as we said earlier, a very, 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 very big group. Well, they are the part of the biggest group in the world, which include things like Burson and Eastman and so on. So that's good news that they're up and running again.
My opinion on the Heimer, I just think lately they've just gone downhill for me. They're just the last couple of years. I don't know there's be Heimer owned out there. The older build quality was so good, and I just when I went to the NEC show in February, I was just a little bit disappointed with the Heimer range. I was just
underwhelmed. I think.
Yeah, I mean the Cargo range was great, and Frankie was good, and it's just Heimer just a little bit. Don't know.
We discussed that Wednesday though, didn't we, Shane? It seems like everybody's catching up when I'm just staying.
Yeah.
I think everybody's caught up and gone past. I mean, even the Voyager. I forget what that interior was called. That interior, it was like a light Swedish Scandinavian wood is the best way I can describe it. I forget what it's called now, but that just looks amazing compared to a Heimer.
I mean, I think Deathless. I mean, some of those new Deathless are amazing machines, absolutely great. But it's a personal thing. I mean, Heimer's got a great name, and like I say, on a buying side for myself, the build quality of Heimer, especially the older ones, nothing beats it. It's
the best way to put a Heimer is something that my cousin said about European vehicles, and she said that things like Mercedes and BMW, they're timeless. They don't really change much. But 20 years ago, they look like they are now, and 20 years ago, they probably still will.
Available today, Putragano are going back May the 4th. I know Bailey aren't opening till at least the 11th of May.
Yeah, people are going back, regardless of what the government's saying. People are going back because when they're looking at the news, they're seeing it's positive, it's going down. But people will be going back, and you can't. This will be lockdown fatigue is kicking in. It is kicking in.
See, Jason, we're going back to this question again from William. Not going back to it, but this is what we're talking about, the MPG on motorhome. So William said, I take it the bigger motorhome, the more thirsty it is. Is it worthwhile having a gas conversion, and is it relatively or readily available in Europe?
It is in Europe, and I think last week, one of the big garages stopped selling it. I think it was Shell. Was it Shell?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, they're a big player in gas.
Yeah, it was one of the garages last week, and I've stopped doing it. I've stopped doing it. But it's a massive difference. I mean, on the American RV market, and also you've got a heck of a lot of.
I think it might be ESSO because they put in electric points. They're swapping them to electric points.
Yeah, it was one of them.
I think it's ESSO.
But also, you gotta understand, there's a heck of a lot of companies out there that do conversions for the appliances, to do LPG conversions.
On the same side, a bit like we said on Wednesday, if you're doing what does a motorhome average a year? 4,000 or 5,000 miles. What is 5 miles to the gallon going to make a difference to your journeys, your trips when you're spending 30, 40, 50, 20, whatever £1,000 on the motorhome? What's saving a few quid? Neither here or there.
What is your favourite German make?
Carthago.
I like Carthago. Well, if it's modern Carthago, if it's old Heimer.
Yeah.
The new Carthagos are. I've sold lots and lots of motorhomes, and they don't stir the emotions so much. But the moment I walked into that, I thought, "Wow, absolutely."
See, I don't know about you.
I think it's got everybody.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Aaron, but I've not really been too sure of them until this last few months. And I've sort of almost stayed away from them a little bit because I'm not brave enough to spend 80, 90, 100 grand on something. But all of a sudden, I'm appreciating the product. And, I've also spoke to a couple of dealers. One is Go European and the other one's Go European. And they both said they just, out of all the manufacturers they do, Carthago, they just don't tend to see again because the build quality is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Mark, I've noticed some manufacturers are now building motorhomes the same width as panel vans. Will we see more of these? The Bailey do the advance, and obviously they do the higher spec as them, which aren't far off the same width. But still, in terms of Bailey, the wider ones are still the buyer, are still the one that you want, the autographs.
I'll tell you what's made a massive difference to the size of motorhomes is this invention of the electric drop-down bed.
Yes, yeah.
That made a massive difference because there's so many motorhomes, new motorhomes on the market now, where you've got a complete end washroom and you've got a dinette, and then above that it's an electric bed. So you're going to see more and more of those come on the market. You're going to get more and more, and they're great. They're great. You put a key, it comes down. It's great.
Yeah, and just going back to that, interestingly, one that me and Jason saw at the show was that Swift have brought back the overcab beds in the Edge range.
Edge 1 to Edge, yeah.
There's so many different layouts. So there's
and that was the height. When we looked at the Edge, Aaron, to me, both of us said it screamed out high market.
Which one was that?
The Swift Edges with the overcab beds. Remember?
Yeah. I remember them. Yeah, and then they do the black edition, which is an extra $995, and that makes it. The black edition Swifts that they do generally on the Contigas and stuff like that. It just makes it look that. It doesn't look like a 40 grand motorhome. Let's put it like that.
There's Jason. Oh, Jason.
Yeah. So Jason.
I remember that. I've still got a picture of us two with our funny faces.
No, when we went was it the October show with him? Did he fall in love with a tent?
No, it was.
He
It was
did,
It was a tent, Aaron.
Trek. Was it a Trek? Come on, Jason. Was it a Trek? It wasn't. It was expensive, but it was nice.
Jason will comment in a minute, but yeah, Jason's. We got Jason on a week. What day is it today? It's Friday today. I've lost track of days. We got Jason on a week today. He's from Forefront, and am I fair to say, Aaron, that it's probably the biggest used dealership in the country? Can you think of a dealership with more used vehicles?
They do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're good guys down there, and yeah, they do buy a lot, and actually they're quite a good test of the market. So if they're not at the monthly BCA auction, you know things are bad.
Well, I know when I spoke to Gary
of the market.
Yeah, I know when I spoke to Gary the other day, I think he said he'd done a dozen during lockdown, took deposits for remotely from home, which is great news. Hopefully it means everybody else is as well.
Prim, I'm with you there. I am. Yes, the fatigue has set in with me in a huge way, and bring on the end of the lockdown. It's
McLuhan.
Drop down McLuhan. Did they do a drop down?
Yes, they've just started Marquis had just started importing them. But yes, they definitely do drop down beds.
McLuhan's, the ones that I deal with, they're similar type to a CI and a Royal Team. It's the build quality is not great. They're quite basic. They won't have dual heating. They won't have a full oven and things like that. But
yeah,
but then
the new McLuhan, they're a relative. They're in the same bracket as. I'm just trying to think. They're that 50 grand bracket new, but they've got some actually quite Fusion. That's the range. McLuhan Fusion, imported by Marquis, and they're not a bad value van for the money.
What? We've got
Jason, was that yes because you sneaked off and went and brought that tent?
Yeah, he said below pop-up tent with off-road tyres.
Exactly, McLuhan's value.
Maybe a bit one-sided.
The same with a CI and a roller team. If you've got a 2000, yeah, but exactly. If you've got a 2008 CI and you compare that to an auto cruise or an auto sleeper, it's going to be £5,000 cheaper. It's going to be £5,000 cheaper. That's exactly the same. It does the same. You'll have a bed, you'll have a cooker. It does exactly the same. The auto sleepers and auto cruises, they're a little bit more refined and they do hold their value. But you can pick up these McLuhans and things like that, CIs, you can pick them up, quite cheap. And at the end of the day, they have a purpose. So that purpose is you take you to a campsite, you have a bed, you put up the awning, you've got a barbecue going. They serve a purpose. So whatever fits your budget. Some people like.
There's always a debate with tyres, C commercial or CP camper tyre. Shane's favourite Carthago come out of the factory with C commercial tyres.
It's all about the walls. It's all about the strength of the walls. And a campervan tyre, you're going to be paying 30-40% more, but it's got stronger. The walls of it are stronger. And what makes it different is because a lot of these motorhomes are in storage and they're not used. So they're affected by the sun. So they crack, they perish. Hardly ever you would ever see a motorhome with a worn tyre. It's always the walls. The walls get perished.
Just like a use.
I think they've generally got a life of around 7 years, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Which company sells the most tyres?
Michelin.
No. Aaron?
No idea.
Let's leave this to fester with the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's always calling to pop up.
We haven't answered these questions whether commercial tyres are better or camper van tyres. Me personally, it's all to do with how they're rated on the. The commercial tyres got the right weight for that. I'm not sure. I'm not technical like that, but it's got to have the correct weighting for that motorhome. And if you use it on a regular basis, to me, a commercial tire will be absolutely fine. But if it's left standing for a long period of time, then a campervan tire. It's because it will last longer. The walls will take longer to perish. They're stronger. They're built stronger. But you know, as long as you've got the correct weight. If you look, there's numbers that tells you the size, and it also tells you the weight rating. You've got to make sure that that's suitable for your motorhome, and it will be fine if you use it on a regular basis. And also, you can buy these tire socks. So relatively cheap. What to do when you're in storage, you put the stock in, and that just protects it from the elements, and that's the only thing that happens to motorhome tires is the walls perish. And believe it or not, it's not an MOT failure. It's an advisory. There's a myth.
There's also a date on the tyres as well.
Yes, but even then, that is not an MOT issue. It's the walls have perished, you know, slightly perished. You get an advisory. It's not a failure. It's only a failure when the metal is showing. Which I think is wrong. I think if a tyre's perished, you should found an MOT, because it's not a pleasant experience having a blowout on the motorway. No. It really, really isn't. No. So why new motorhome dealers still use the buyer as a guinea pigs? Can we name and shame them? I don't really like naming and shaming or knocking any other company, to be perfectly honest. But I don't understand the answer as guinea pigs. The difficult thing is with motorhomes, there's so many elements to a motorhome. So when it arrives, okay, let's park the fact that the build quality of British van is not as good as their German counterparts, but there's so many aspects to a motorhome that go in. You know, the appliances, how it's fitted, and also it moves. You know, there's flexibility. So, you know, you say they're using you as guinea pigs. They're not. They've got. There's no dealer wants to come back. There's no dealer out there that enjoys a disgruntled customer. They're not.
Yeah.
It's their reputation. It's everything.
Yeah. See, I think dealers get a bit too much stick sometimes, especially on the newer stuff, because you're only as good as the motorhome that you're selling. If it comes out the factory not how it should be, the dealer takes the flak, whereas it probably won't be their fault.
A lot of these issues are not going to come to light until you start using it. Until you start using it. It's just like the same with a new house. You know, you buy a new house, you get snaggy. You're constantly calling the build back. This is back. This is not going right. And the house doesn't move. Now you've got a moving house, so you are going to have issues. You are going to have issues, and this is where you know how good a dealer is, because you know they're all great. You know, when they want you to buy a motorhome, but it's how they deal with you afterwards that makes a difference. But you know, you've got to understand that you know these are put together, and that you know they travel 70 miles an hour on the motorway. They go down potholes. They do this. They do that, and there's different appliances. There's going to be issues. It's going to be unlikely that you are going to buy a brand spanking new coach built 25-foot motorhome with appliances and cupboards and this, that, and the other, that something's going to fall off or something's going to come loose or something. Well, chances are that's going to happen, and chances are it's going to be minor, and it's not the fault of the dealer. How they deal with that, that's the fault of the dealer. That's how the fault of the dealer. But
yeah, exactly.
No dealer out there wants to come back. No dealer out there is okay. There's some curbside dealer out there that will sell you something that's completely rotten. But if we talk about new motorhomes, you know they're only as good as a manufacturer. It's not. Brownhills don't build motorhomes. Marquis don't build motorhomes. You know, all of these dealers, they don't build them. You know, Eldis build them. Better, you know, Swift build them. You know. But
Van Width, Shane?
Say again, sorry?
Van Width, Etruscan did one, Sunlight V60, which is narrower but same design as T60.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Available.
Maybe it's the way forward. I don't know. It's maybe it's the way forward.
It all depends on the space you've got. It all depends on the space you want. Yeah, available today. If Fusion, Auto Sleeper, not Marquis, and they got five models in the McLuhan Fusion. There we go. That's answered that.
No one was getting my question about tyres until Derek got the answer right.
Oh yeah,
Lego.
I forgot that question.
Lego sell the most tyres. Make the most tyres. So, what next for China?
Are we talking about the coronavirus?
I'm assuming so.
Oh, I'm not going to answer that.
Nice choice.
Why not PDI? Well, they should do a PDI.
Yeah, they should do a PDI, but until you start using.
And social distancing, we're in the kind of industry that social distancing is ideal. You know, you can, well, initially you can utilize selling online while we're in lockdown. That means more, better pictures, better videos, because you are allowed to deliver campervans or caravans. That's permitted. Once a lockdown is finished, it's easy to social distance. If someone wants to view a motorhome, open the door. There you are. Help yourself. Most people would like that because they're under no pressure. They can look in their own time. There's not a salesman there saying, "Oh, do you like this? Do you like that?" You can have antibacterial spray. You can offer them gloves. You know, it's easy. And with regards to the PDI checks, it's something that I know Jason has adopted before the lockdown. Is you do a video. You could do a video. You can put it on a data stick, on a USB stick, or you can email it to them and say, "Look, this is how things work." So we're lucky in this industry that social distancing is easy. It is easy. So once a lockdown is finished, there's no reason why all these dealers can open and they can sell.
Stephen, what do you think about Fiat's 2-year and 20k service intervals? They've changed the engines, haven't they, Shane?
They have for the 2020 range. Yeah. Everything's gone up 10 brake horsepower. They've gone on to the 60/2 temp, which changes things. They've got a new automatic gearbox as well. So we'll have them filtering through soon.
Fit on the manufacturers, if they feel 20,000 miles in 2 years is fine, then they must be fine. If they weren't, they'd be having warranty issues left, right, and centre. I would have thought. It sounds a long time for me, 20,000 miles, but engines are different now. They're not like every 6,000 miles back in the day. They're not like that anymore. So,
how do you verify that the motorhome is clean? In what way? HPI way or?
I think just look at his next question. I think you need to think about a big dealer. What about duty of care for staff? I think if you use the right protection, you can do it properly. I mean, just because I think it's a bit like the car market. It's going very much towards a click and collect. It's no different from any other store, but you're probably less customer facing.
Well, if you notice, if you go to the big Sainsbury's, when they you're queuing up in like an S, and when they give you the trolley, they will spray it and wipe it down. And the same could be done. If someone goes into a motorhome, they'll only be touching handles, and you can spray down a worktop before somebody.
Well, they could wear gloves anyway, couldn't they?
They could wear gloves. But it's doable. It's a small additional job, and it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. It's going to have to be doable because the vaccine's a long way off. So it's going to have to be, and it's a little bit of extra work, and that's fine. But as the actual social distancing is not an issue. The offering of gloves, you could even insist that they wear gloves, and that negates the need to clean the motorhome or caravan afterwards. When we do go back, we're still off, but when we do go back and we do collect something, we'll apologise that we can't shake their hands, and and everything's done in the distance. Payments are done by faster payment, instant bank transfer. It's we're lucky that we're in an industry where social distancing is not.
I think what could have put the nail in the coffin really was if they'd have kept the motorhome tax, the new motorhome tax.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
They won't bring that back, but
No.
at some point, me being pessimist again, at some point, businesses are going to have to pay for this bailout, for this what the government's done to keep the country going. We're going to have to pay for it. We are. And
I mean, the tax was just a little bit too much. You don't mind the tax going up a little bit, but going up from 250 quid or whatever it was to about 2,100.
Fiberglass all day long, Star Taylor. Fiberglass all day long.
Shane, fiberglass?
Yeah, you don't get many of them. And to be fair, I've not had a problem with aluminium walls. The aluminium walls aren't the problem. It's the floor that's still made of wood, like some of the 2015 Baileys that still get damp.
See, Jamie's question, can you get good finance deals? See, this is where, after post-lockdown, I do believe the finance market needs to make more attractive deals to encourage people to buy. They really, really do, because it's the high end that's going to suffer. It's the new motorhomes and caravans that are going to suffer, because they need to make it attractive. But then, they're going to be nervous because of what happened in 2008. So, but here's a question for you, Aaron. What percentage of motorhomes would you say you buy that have got finance attached to them? Not many. 5%.
Yeah, I'll probably go with that. Which I'd probably say is the complete opposite with cars.
9 times out of 10 is black calls.
Oh yeah,
Apart from Volkswagen, what is the next best base vehicle for top camper vans?
Well, there's not that many out there. You got the Bongos. You got the what else? You got Nissan one.
You've got a bit of everything, really. Yeah, you've got a bit of everything, really. What was the make that we looked at the show that you really like? The camper van conversions.
Wild Axe.
I mean, they do Mercedes, Ford, all sorts. I like the Fords.
Yeah, it depends what age. I mean, VW. I mean, the engine's the VW engine that will do Starship miles. It's parts are so easy to obtain. The Mazda Bongos, we've dealt with the Bongos in the past. They're not the best sellers, I'll be honest. They do sell, everything sells, but they do seem to stick around a little bit longer. And
Leather versus fabric, what's your preference?
Well, it's more comfortable. It's easier to clean leather, and it's more comfortable to sit on fabric.
Yeah.
And also, if you've got a very, very high-end motorhome, we're talking big A-class Frankia, Deathless, a lot of times they have leather, which is great until they get 10 years old and it starts to crack, and then it looks really unsightly. And you're not going to get that with the fabric. So it's they're great, but
customer motorhome purchasing it virtual or conventional?
That's up to the customer. If they've got trust in that dealer and they've purchased from that dealer before, then there's no reason why they can't buy something virtual. But the vast majority of people would like to view first, and at the moment, that's not allowed. We can deliver a motorhome to you, we can deliver a caravan to you, but you physically coming into a dealer's showroom to view, that's not essential at the moment. So
see, we'll come back to Mark in a second, but the next one, which Prim said, Coronavirus only lives on material for so long, and you take precautions, social distancing, PPE, and, for example, changing clothes when you come into work. Now, at the moment, you're only allowed to deliver a car, right? So you've got to have somebody driving that car or motorhome to the customer's house. Now, I'm sure I read something the other day where you can clean coronavirus only lasts on the worst services for about 3-4 days. There's no reason you couldn't clean that motorhome or car a week before. You could have it sat there waiting, sterilise the keys, hand the keys, go away. Go away and have a look in the vehicle. And that's why the lobbying to
it will take
click and collect
a matter of minutes to sterilise the motorhome. You know, all the handles, anywhere, you spray it on, and that's it. You've seen those videos where when someone's washed their hands in a petri dish and they put their finger in it, and it just dispels, it just goes. So it's easily doable, and it is. Like I say, we're in this kind of industry that. What's it a tax?
Wasn't the motorhome tax a directive from the EU?
I might be wrong, but I think this was a bit of a rumour. I'm not entirely sure on that, though.
Especially the fact that the UK government's the one that stopped it. I would have thought it was UK based.
I believe so. I might be wrong.
All German high-quality vans have aluminium.
Yeah. Fair point.
There you go. Ford have started to do some pop-ups.
Yeah, I think Mercedes have started with one as well, the Marco Polo, which is their own brand of.
Well, I agree with Russ there. I think there's no reason why motorhome dealers shouldn't open, but
I'd rather go. You're going to see less people going into a motorhome dealer than you are into a superstore by a hell of a long way.
No.
Guys and Kim have gone for fabric. Oh, my China question was about motorhomes. Are we going to see a huge change?
Yeah. Well, prior to this, probably, but now, I don't know, there may be a backlash. I don't know.
You can only deliver on a trailer.
That's not true.
It's not true, actually, that, to be fair, John. If you have a look at the legislation on the 7th of April, it does say that you can. Basically, it's a guideline.
And also, I think they updated it as well on the 22nd of April as well. So that's wrong. You know, you've got trade plates. There's no reason for you to stop. It's quite clear you're not on a jolly to the beach.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the live chat. As a complete beginner, I am apprehensive but like to hire. Anything to put my mind at rest, Lee. That's a really, really good idea, because you know, when I was a retail outlet, people had these preconceived ideas what their ideal layout is. They wanted a fixed bed, they wanted this and that. And so many times they regretted it. You don't know what layout you want until you actually start using a motorhome. Because a lot of people, they like the idea of a fixed bed, that have missed the space, and so it's a great idea to hire first. It's expensive, it is expensive, but just a weekend somewhere where you think it's the kind of layout that you want. Now hire that vehicle, go away and see if it works for you, because they're big purchases, and if you're buying from a dealer, you're going to lose X amount the moment you drive it out to the forecourt. How can we help expand this channel? This will go down a storm with the larger motorhoming community on YouTube. Excellent, well done. Just subscribe to us. Just subscribe to us. That's the only way we can grow. Subscribe to us. I think the other way is obviously there's lots of forums out there, Facebook, and just generally share us. If you can share us, I mean, you can also. Could you not share this video chat as well? Put these on a forum so they get a taste of what you guys are about. Can be done. It just depends on what the admins think about it, whether it's promotion of some sort that they want on the page. But we'll see. I'll start. We've already thought about that. You're not product, are you? But anyway, that's. Thanks, Star.
Shane, is that your 50k booster on eBay, and why is it so cheap?
Why is it so cheap?
Is it your?
It is, yeah. I've just put one up. It's a Burst Lizio Harmony Line T690G, and I've got a bloody lovely van. And the reason I say that, it's got my favourite twin beds above a garage. Lots of storage space. Why is it so cheap? If we're going to sell one, we're going to price it competitively.
Because you brought
That's
it.
Right. I mean, it's only a 19 plate, and there's nothing to do with it. There's nothing to do on it. It's a 19 plate, and I think it's done about 1,800 miles. So, as far as we're concerned, there's nothing to be done.
Wasn't Burster the manufacturer that to replace the windscreen would cost £12,000? Was it Burster?
They did. I don't know. 12,000 is a lot. They did do.
I know there's a make out there that the windscreen alone costs £12,000. Now think about that when you're going behind a tipper.
Auto Trail have just done pop-ups, haven't they?
Yes, that's one for. Yeah, I'm not. To be fair, I'm not too clued up on Auto Trail, but yeah. Sorry, they have done. Yeah, the new for the 2020 year. Yes, they have, and they've also changed the colours. You've got about 7 colours to choose from, the cabs and the bodywork and everything like that. Yeah, they have just started doing a pop-up for this year.
Fixed bed
won't trickle down to me for a couple of years yet.
Fixed bed. I presume you usually get a proper sprung mattress.
No.
Depends on your budget.
The big difference, a topper. It makes a big difference. Sometimes you will buy a motorhome or caravan, and where it's quite a cheap mattress, you can actually see the indentation. It's like a Mexican wave where you can see where they sleep. But a comfortable bed. But you can buy these tailor-made. The beds are quite expensive. They're about £500-600, but they cut the edge exactly where they should.
The Duvet ones.
We use a company that actually makes them, the memory foam ones, and they're round about £380-400.
But even just a couple of inch topper just makes a massive difference, especially when we're talking about my favourite layout, the U-shaped lounge, because to make up the U-shaped lounge bed, you've got to fill the ridges where you're making up the cushions. And that topper that stops that. And going back to the question before about Tom. Yeah, Jason, I don't think they've got the name they have anymore. The Westphalia. It's back in the day they were the ones to have, and nowadays, I don't know.
They've lost the way a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. There's a few companies that were the top of the game, like Homer and Westphalia. That I don't know. It's.
I'd probably even say in the last 10 years, they just seem to have disappeared a little bit, and I don't really know why. I don't know whether it's because the new prices have just gone up and up and up. I don't really know. I used to come across them so much more than I do now.
Yeah.
Is Mark on about your motorhome? Less risk, anything wrong?
And it's under manufacturer warranty as well.
This is your van on eBay, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, any 2019 motorhome, it's going to still be under manufacturer's warranty, so it's got to go back to a Burst main dealer to be sorted.
I mean, there's some companies like Westphalia that just lost their way, and then the technology's gone past them, and the different advances have gone past them, and don't know.
Just the thumbs up. Forgive me, it's the Hymer range on pop-up tops, campervans.
You should know better than that to make a mistake like that.
Jason.
Yeah, they do one as well. Yeah, Hymer do things like that. The Airs Rock and so on.
The big electric. It is coming. I think. I actually think we're 10 years out before electric comes in, but. It's
all down to the chassis builders, isn't it?
No, it is, but it will come in. There will be a government deadline where it has to come in, and they'll have no choice. But yeah, they will. They will, and it's not such a bad thing. It's not to be feared. I don't think it's. I mean, you got these Priuses that's out there that they do 200,000 miles on the same battery. So it's going to happen. It's the future. It's technology. There's nothing you could do about it.
Sorry.
So you should be. It's that gym that's working, Jason.
Name of a next generation motorhome.
Yes. Don't know.
What's the next up and coming motorhome make and model? Do you mean?
It's Carthargo,
yeah, Carthargo is good, but it's so difficult for an independent company to make their mark. It is. It's just so difficult. It's especially.
Here's the up and coming one, Malibu by Carthargo. So you got Carthargo, which are your expensive ones, and then you got your Malibu, which is the step down. You know,
like your starter range.
Yeah, and they do the starter range in both low profiles and A class, but they're 70 grand instead of 120 grand. But you can't. Yeah. For me, that's the one for the likes of us three to look out for in 2-3 years' time.
Now, there's a following on all electric vans on YouTube, mostly in the States.
Yeah,
I think it's like Aaron said, it's definitely coming. I mean, you can buy a brand new electric van now.
Adria's very good vans. I like Adria's. Daz and Kim, I really. If we talked about caravans, the actual build quality of Adria's, very, very good. Very, very good. Even the older Adria's, very, very, very good.
They do what they say on the tin, don't they? They don't give you anything fancy.
And also, they're quite brave as well. If I'm talking about caravans, they're quite like the Adria Adora, the modern shape before anybody else. The real, I do like. I'm a big fan. Build quality of Adria, very, very, very good. Very, very good. They're up there for me. One of the best fans.
Your best holiday in a motorhome in this UK, and what will you win?
For me, it was Hope last August in a Carthargo Opus. The motorhome didn't make a difference, but it was stunning weather. The walks around Mamtor and everything like that were just brilliant.
Bailey Approach Autograph.
And where?
I went Silverstone last year.
Okay.
I was in Norfolk. I can't remember what I was in. I could tell you my worst. We took a Swift Conqueror caravan to Brighton. It was 2 years old, so a very, very modern caravan. So it just come in, hardly been used. And so we go down to Brighton Marina, to one of the caravan club site there. Really nice site. There's a bus to go straight into the town centre. Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. The only thing that worked, the electrics didn't work for whatever reason, and it was cold. It was probably the similar time of year to now, where it's warm in the day, but and at night it was like freezing. And
I had one last year, and I went up to Ashbourne in just in Derbyshire, and we bought this 2004 Swift Contiki. I forget what the layout is now. It's a 650 with a French bed. And it wasn't until we got there and it started absolutely hammering it down that we realised the roof light just above the bed leaked. And when I say leaked, it was just constant. It wasn't even dripping. It was just a constant stream.
But we also forgot the quilt for us. With the girls, I got 2 young daughters, so they were fine. But we had no bedding. We forgot that because we just pick, whenever we go away, we just pick something from stock. So we had no heating. Well, the gas heater worked on gas, but I'm a bit conscious leaving the gas on overnight. So it was awful. I'll never forget that. But then, like I say, there's days when it's a hot summer, balmy night, and you're on a campsite. It's great, picturesque, and you got a beer, the barbecue going, and the children are playing. You can't. You literally can't be.
Best holidays you had as a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I used to go. My dad I used to be very lucky where my dad used to take me down in a caravan, one from stock again, to the New Forest, a little place called Shirley Farm, and they were only allowed 5 vans on at a time, and the rope swings and campfires that we used to have as a kid, it was just You know, out of all the holidays that we've been on, it still stands out.
I mean, there's a lot to be said to having a campsite with all the facilities and a little playground, etc. But some of these ones by the side of a pub, you know, they're just great. They're absolutely great. You know, you'll have a pub meal, you just stagger back to the caravan. Because all intents and purposes, you're just using it as bed. And if you've got a hookup, you're there. Also, if you've got solar panels, this is where they really come in. You know, they really, and there's, you know, it's a you know, this is why it's so popular. This is why it was growing every year on, year out, and this is why hopefully we will get through this, and we will. And but Europe's a big thing. People underestimate how many people use their motorhome to go to Europe. I see it on forums all the time. You know, they do it. They love going to Spain, driving to Spain. They stop off at these airs, and you know, they do.
I'm still here. My coral is standing.
Adria Coral, is that?
Just about.
I like an Adria Coral.
I like an Adria Coral.
Yeah. We camp at the bottom of Mantor in the car park.
See, I know which car park you're talking about, but I never realised you could camp down there. Interested to know for next time. But I mean, the reason I like Hope on a bank holiday in August because they do a beer festival.
I noticed quite a bit on the forums that where people used to be able to park, they can't now. The council, where people spoil it, they take advantage. You know, there will be lots and lots of motorhomes there. There'll be chairs out, and they just spoil it. And the council gets complaints from the residents, and they close it. That's happening a heck of a lot. And you know, so it's a few that spoil it for the most. And this is why people like going to Europe so much.
Aventel DV, owned by the Chinese, got an all-electric van that does 120 miles on one charge, maybe less than 10 years for 400 or 500 miles plus.
That's what it needs to do. It needs to be the £400-500 because you're stuck in a traffic jam, but you've got 30 miles left in your charge. What's going to happen? You're going to use it up in the traffic jam, and then you're just going to be broken down. And you know, it's just so they need.
So, will you use it in the traffic jam if you're not moving anywhere?
Well, you would because you're stop-starting, aren't you?
Yeah, okay. Stop-start, yeah.
I'm close to the M25, but you're forever stop-starting, and that's going to, you know, that uses up electric. And if you're in the Friday afternoon traffic, you know, you think you got enough to get home, and you haven't. You break. It's just, I don't know.
I'm outside a pub. It's closed.
Yeah.
Hey, ASB. There's an electric one on Andrew Ditton's YouTube channel he test drove, but it was priced at €200,000.
Yeah, I can remember seeing that one, to be fair. Or it might have been Alan Heath that put the one that I saw. That's a lot of money. They've got to bring that value down on the electric ones if it's going to be possible to buy.
Well, there should be subsidy for the government would afford to encourage. But there will be a deadline. Government will set. I know they set a deadline, then they put it on, they put it forward. But at some point, they've got to stick to that deadline where everyone needs to be converted to electric cars. And there'd be exemption for classic cars and things like that. But it's coming. It's coming, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
We live in Hampshire, and it's easier to go to mainland Europe than it is for us to drive up to the lakes and the highlands, etc. So we never motorhome in the UK.
It is, and they cater for the motorhome so much better in the UK. Like you go to any town and they're being airs, and it'll be €5 for the night or something. You know, this is why people go to Europe. They do.
You will have to adjust when we start again as things will change. What do you think will be for the best?
Well, like I said before, I think the more expensive motorhome would be the highest. Just by dint of the fact they're more expensive. Is it a dealer? Is this guy a dealer? Do you know this guy? If you're a dealer, I mean, if my advice to you is, you know, if you've got heavy stock, expensive stock, you know, try and, sell that, even if it's a case of breaking even. And then just work your way up, test the market. Start at the £15,000. They'll be selling fine. Then creep up to 18 if they sell. Then creep up, try things for 20,000, and creep up to see how the market is. That's what I plan to do. And but it's the newer stuff. It's the more expensive stuff that's gonna.
And on the opposite of Aaron, I'm going to go heavy on the newer stuff because I don't think there'll be much available. Which is good. Won't cross doors.
If you've got attractive finance packages in place, then that will help, because a lot of people buy these expensive ones on finance. That will help, but you just don't know until we get out there. We need this lockdown to finish and just to get out there. But I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. We're going to be in a recession, that's without question of a doubt. But there's the feel-good factor, and there's, like the NCC done a survey a couple of days ago. The one thing people are looking forward to the most is holidays. And the fact you can't go to abroad now, we're talking UK holidays. So,
have you enjoyed yourself, Aaron?
I think it's been great.
How's that wine looking?
Really good.
Hey,
how's that wine going down? See, I'm about to the end here.
A mistake I made, which I won't make if you invite me back. I should have bought a bottle up here because it's downstairs and I'm upstairs. So next time I'll have a cool box with.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, Aaron. Come on again.
No, I have,
Yeah.
And it's a great idea, and you should do this on a regular basis. And well done both of you for doing this, because there's, like you say, there's nothing else out there, and it's only going to get bigger. And people can ask questions, and hopefully we can help them and give a little bit of our knowledge. It's great. I've really enjoyed it. And,
brilliant. A few nice comments. So shall we wrap it up?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do we do? What do we do in the next one, Jason?
Wednesday.
Bear in mind,
you're going to say Monday. We've got Mark on next, haven't we? Talking caravans.
I'm going to say Monday, because we've also got that Friday night special, the VE Day special with Jason from Forefront. I think that'll be a nice follow up. And then there's a few people we need to get on as well.
One last question. Guys, do you? No.
Do you think of getting anyone?
Trillion years.
No, not at all.
I think it's July the 1st. I think that's the date that you're looking at. I don't think this month. You might. I think July the 1st. I think the Caravan and Motorhome Club were absolutely spot on with the date of July the 1st to proceed bookings from.
I hope so. I really, really do.
Okay, everybody.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks a bunch for everybody watching. Thanks for your comments. More thanks to Aaron. And Shane, want to finish anything off?
No, that's about it, really. Just join us Monday and Friday next week.
Do you realise we've been going 2 hours?
2 hours?
I don't know. The whiskey took the pain away.
All right. Thanks very much. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you for having me on.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.